Back in 2012, me and my brother started making music together. And since then, I've continued to make music, producing, writing lyrics, singing, all of that stuff up until now, 2025. So it has been 13 years, which is really hard to believe. That's crazy. And I love making music, and I've got other hobbies as well. I like streaming, video editing, stuff like that, video game development just for fun. And hobbies are great. And everybody should have hobbies, something that they find joy in doing. The problem I've run into is that at a certain point, it being a hobby isn't enough for me. Sometimes just being proud of something on my own isn't enough. The reason I'm making this video is for me, so that I can remind myself to just be creative, which is the name of the video. It's like when you hear a TV show call out the name of the show and it's always like awkward and weird. Hopefully it came off naturally here. I don't think it did. Why does everything that I make have to be perfect? Everything, it has to live up to some wacko expectation that I have set for myself that nobody holds of me. I think the problem is, especially when it comes to music, mixing and mastering, trying to make the song sound, radio ready, because everyone's listening to the radio these days. It's just kind of goofy because at the end of the day, no one is listening. No one's listening to my music, which is fine. My job is not to be a musician. I'm just doing this for fun. But for some reason, I attach so much value to these things once I release them into the wild. I can't just appreciate the creative process and what I actually did in my own time in private. As soon as I make it public, all of a sudden it has to be perfect. I have a 4-song EP that I started back in 2022. I'm not done with it. I've had the songs essentially finished for 3 years. But I have been mixing them indefinitely, and I don't know if I'll ever finish them. It's a nightmare. My big hang up is on mixing, on having a song sound good. There's one song in particular called Robin that I have mixed probably 80 different times, just small tweaks here and there. And, listening back to my first mix and to now, it definitely sounds better. I have improved as a mixer, but at what point can I be done? I think the issue is when I put these songs out, I'm putting them out on my own personal social media, so that these are people, my friends, my family, my former teachers. These are people who have known me for a long time. And so when I put something out, it's reflecting not only on my artistic persona, but on me as a person. And that's too much pressure. So it has to be perfect. Otherwise, everyone's going to judge me. They're going to think of me differently, which I know isn't true, but this bad boy up here believes it. So that's what this channel is for. I'm just trying to do this for my own creative expression, to just be creative. I did it again, because I'm tired of having to constantly wait to put something out, just because I'm concerned about the public perception of it being imperfect. But a lot of songs sound so different from one another. You can listen to one reference track and then switch to a different one and notice some incredible differences between the two, in terms of vocal volume, in terms of EQing, in terms of how present the bass is in the mix, in terms of how the panning is used. But when I'm listening to these songs by some of my favorite artists, I don't realize these differences as I'm just skipping through and shuffling things around. But when you isolate things, you can pick out every single thing that they're doing. But no one's gonna do that. No one's gonna do that with my song. No one's gonna hear that and be like, oh my god, oh, the lyrics. Actually, people might call it the lyrics. That's not mixing. The lyrics are not great. The internet has tainted me into thinking that everybody cares about mixing. They care about how the song sounds, how sonics are mixing together, whether two frequency bands are overlapping too much from the vocals and the synth line. Most people don't care. If the song is catchy, that's what they care about. Like, I've shown my songs to my friends and my family just to be like, does this sound okay? And they'll be like, this is great. The thing I've gotten feedback on the most is just vocals, because that's what people latch onto the most when they listen to songs. They want to be able to hear what you're saying. But aside from the vocals, most people don't really have any feedback, because a majority of people are not trained to differentiate little frequency differences or problems in mixing. This is like a purely internet-based issue that I am currently working through getting past, but it's driving me crazy. I just want to release stuff. I just want to put it out there. And if no one sees it, I need to learn to be okay with that. And that's a totally separate thing. I'm making this video with the expectation that nobody is going to see it. But if one person sees it or two people do, I'm gonna check back tomorrow to see if a third person has seen it. It's so stupid, and I recognize how stupid that is. This is a channel that has 0 posts. If anybody finds this, how? Tell me, how the hell did you find this? It doesn't make any sense. I'm sweating right now. Oh my god, look at this. Do you see how wet that is? That's disgusting. Ugh. Am I hot or nervous? Or both? I think I might just be both. This is an attempt to inoculate myself into being okay with releasing something in an quote unquote imperfect state. I want to release stuff. I want to be done with it because once I put something out, I can be done. Once I release something, once I take a song and just put it on the internet, I can move on. I can move on to something else because I don't have to mix it anymore. I don't have to make small tweaks. I'm not an incredibly talented musician. I am not some virtuoso. I don't have a great ear for drums or for bass lines. I'm just making songs for fun. I'm just making stuff that I think sounds good, but it still worries me for people to find it. But I want people to find it. I just need to stop thinking. I just need to stop thinking. And I think a lot of you need to just stop thinking. Just do stuff that's fun. Just be creative. I did it again. I keep saying the name of the video and it sounds like I'm doing it on purpose, but I swear I only did that twice. I care a lot about how other people perceive me. I think a lot of people feel the same way. But at the end of the day, just do what makes you happy. Just do stuff. Just do stuff. Just release stuff. Some people might click with it. You know, it doesn't have to be perfect all the time. Some people relate to imperfection. Some songs sound good because they're imperfect. Also, let me quickly add a bit of an exception. If you don't want to put stuff out, that's also totally fine. If you can just make things and appreciate them for what they are without needing other people to approve it or tell you that it's good, that's great. That's probably healthier than what I'm suggesting. Uh-oh, my camera's getting hot. It's gonna stop recording soon. Just do what makes you happy. You know, just make things. I love when people make things and show things to people if you want. As long as what you're doing makes you happy and is not making you bang your head against a wall. As soon as your hobby becomes a concern or starts worrying you or you start getting hung up on these details, then maybe you need to take a step back and reflect on why you're actually doing it. Which is what I'm trying to do right now. Why am I doing any of this? I'm just trying to have fun. I don't need to make everything perfect all the time. If you relate to that at all, I hope that this was at least helpful to see how somebody else thinks about this, how they are processing similar concerns. If you found this video, I don't know how, but I'm gonna just post random things here. So just to try to get myself past the idea of perfection and to just be creative. There we go. I did it again.